It's a very diverse room. It just looks very different now.
Yeah, that was fun. People were dressing up.
Oh yeah.
That was worth it just to see that.
Yeah.
Fashion show.
It really is. They take that Ellis seriously. They truly do.
Would you like some bagel? Because it's called Hold the Bagel for a reason. We have bagels and cream cheese.
Oh yes.
And we have coffee. So help yourself.
And then I'll do bagel after.
Yeah. So
yeah. Right. Feel me on that.
I don't even eat bagels.
Yeah, I would say reserve your bagel now.
How you doing? Are you managing?
I'm in, right? Is that,
Yeah.
and I know the owl's ready.
Yeah. So we're good. This is her. She's gonna be just like her notebook.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
But this looks like that. So wait.
I'm Krystle.
I'm very glad I was.
So what are you doing there?
In fact, they are.
So I've been
I
going.
just wish that here it will be okay too.
But I'm just. Yes, so I've just been there for 13 years.
All we need now is for the rain and fall in the middle
And
of
I
the
admire you every time I see you.
But we're working on it.
So sweet, oh my God.
One step at a time.
Love that.
Okay, this, Rabbi,
How are you?
this
Yeah.
is where, how do I get to the?
Okay, so that's the rest of this button.
This one?
And then you go to,
Oh,
yeah, it's supposed to
it's
be.
right there. Okay.
Just press it.
Oh my God.
This is fear. Somehow it's not working. Wait, that's different.
Maybe because I did.
So wait, what else is there? Oh no, it's not this button. It's this button. Sorry.
Okay.
This one, not this one. This one. Look.
When you can point right
And
in.
then you go to HDMI4.
Okay.
And it's if it's not working, it means it's not connected. Usually I go here. I press it. There must be so that's something here. This is malfunctioning
Because it should be just this.
yeah. Oh, here we go. Now it worked.
Okay.
I don't know why I had to press it a few times. I guess it needs the rabbinic touch. You don't get ordained for nothing. Those magic fingers. Years and years of education. And the Talmud and the Bible. Like so that.
They give you like a Navy course.
A Navy course?
But Navy, not audiovisual.
I wish they had. They teach you all those lofty things in rabbinic schools. And then you go become a rabbi in some small congregation where you have to learn how to like sweep the floor and
Make the coffee.
You know, yeah, it's kind of like the schools, what they teach you and what you think the job is going to be like, especially in the first years. And then the question is, at what point is our referee or does a rabbi stop setting the chairs in the hall?
That's when you made it.
And
You
the
really
answer
made
is,
it.
the answer is,
Oh, like that, maybe, yes.
yeah.
Maybe
It's about,
when you have a good Chinese congregation.
maybe it's about the journey, it's not the journey rather than the goal, right?
So they say, I'm still journeying.
Yeah, exactly. So you're so good.
Family is good. No, I don't do the internet thing. I used to.
But they still do it.
My son and I have to for mom.
Oh my God, Bruce, there. Why access?
I'm not sure. Oh, which one did? Oh, are you?
Doesn't want to go there?
I think we have to do this because it's a little rough.
I need a house to live in.
With an assist. I couldn't get the piece.
But.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Just help really.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Sarah's dog's
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier, some stuff, that's two. Mine is a puppy. He's gonna be great, but he thinks he's still a puppy. And, he's a large dog. So silver. Wow. And he's very. Don't ask, it was not my idea. When Pumpkin died, which was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I said, I can't have one dog. I was already starting to get go when I and it's now at a point where I can't walk him around. I just I can walk with Eric. If there's somebody there to grab him, but if I hold, it's not so great. And then I still squirrel chase. Yes, that is true. And my son's dog we have is a mutt. But she's 8 and she's very bad tempered. And if she doesn't like you, she'll bite you.
How's it going, Paul? Good.
It's very dangerous.
I'm very perceptive.
I should.
It's a conversation.
She has been.
Yes, I thought we can live in our holiday.
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself.
And I hope you're not getting off like
He never sees us do it. Yeah, I can do a lot of things. But that's why
Maybe
I love
my team was
territorial.
Yeah, hello, how are you? Good to see you. I know I can see blinding, I know. It's the holy man's halo. It really is. Most of them out here touching the floor. Mr. Anderson? Not to be mixed with Anderson?
What were you saying about the,
Oh, I can't.
Eventually I'll figure it out.
I can't do a walk by myself.
who do you feel more secure with?
Well, you know, physical security changes financial security.
I carry a buzzer for his neck, but I'm not fast enough. When he starts to go, but I have one down so hard that I get dropping it. You know, I go down.
Oh, well, that's.
Oh, yeah, I did it the other, I did a face plant the other day, there were two trucks that were coming down the hillside.
So far,
Both
two
guys
people
stopped,
on Zoom.
jumped out of their trucks.
Do you feel comfortable speaking to a mic?
They're so embarrassed.
I know it's a small group, but then the people on Zoom can hear you better.
Yes, do you have a tabletop thing?
So I know,
Well, it's hard for you to hold it.
but
Yeah,
I
so I can ask for a stand. Let me see if that, if not, you just speak loud enough.
Okay, I can move over.
I think, yeah, so
Oh,
you're,
'cause for the
yeah,
eye to see me?
yeah, to see, well, to hear you. If you
Okay.
speak loud and clear, which I know that you do,
Yeah.
they'll hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Just be reminded that there's, and if you see like a blue thing, you have a moment to see that someone does.
Admit.
Yeah, I just admitted that. Otherwise, I'll be like hovering over you to admit them. Okay, then just. Morning, Rebecca.
They were having a rescue.
Good to see you. The world is my
Yeah. Hey, my good one. I'm all right. Your work well, there's like when that's easy to hose off.
Oh my God, I'm so bad. Counter church. Organization is Women's
Foundation.
Foundation.
Genesee Valley.
Sounds very, the Women's Foundation.
Women's Foundation.
The Genesee, sounds very exotic.
Genesee
Like the
Valley.
Genesee Valley, like this hidden valley. It's
Have
very
you been to the Women's Foundation?
of the Genesee.
Valley.
Imagine this mysterious valley that opens up, and like bunnies are jumping.
I feel like one of my favorite movies as a child is called The Secret Garden.
There you go.
Yes.
The
And
Genesee Valley.
of the Genesee family.
All right, we should start. Yeah, Laura, we should start. Good morning, everybody. Please take your seats. Morning. For those of you, Elise Constantine is our president, by the way.
Thank you. It was over on the right before, now it's in the middle. So I gotta look at the middle.
All right, I'll try again. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I feel like I'm in like third grade. Now we're going to stand and say our Pledge of Allegiance, even though there's no flag here. I can bring it from the sanctuary. So it's great to be back. For those of you who have forgotten who I am, because I was away for 2.5 weeks, my name is Rabbi Or Zohar. This is Temple Sinai. It's more to remind myself what's going on. And we are in yet another, after a short recess, we are in yet an exciting lecture of the whole of the Bagel. You wanted to use the microphone? Oh, there's people on the other side? Oh, so come on in. Oh, so you need me to use the mic? Okay. Yeah. Okay. What's happening in the afterwards?
constantly struggling with addiction, and there's hats and gloves and things like that. For making
Okay.
bags to
So that's happening at 11 over there? All right, okay. All right. So I was asked to use the microphone because you didn't know that there's a whole bunch of other people listening to you on the other side of this.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
so-
want to see their faces.
Yeah, I know, I hope that they'll be able to join us soon. So much has happened in Temple Sinai this morning. And after a short recess, we're back to the whole of the Bagel, which by the way, will not convene next week. Because of the MLK weekend, we're taking a break, but the week after, there'll be another session. And, as you heard, at 11 a.m. today, we're making compassion bags. So stay for 11 for Beyond the Bagel program. Now, sitting here very close to me is my friend Krystle Ellis, who actually we met at Kate Greenberg's birthday party, I believe,
Yes.
a few months ago. That's your daughter, I believe. Did you know that this is Kate's mother?
Yeah, hi, Mom.
And yeah, it's a close-knit congregation. When you move to Rochester, you realize everybody's either each other's cousin or each other's something, you know, so. All right, so we met and I realized that this is an incredible human being. Our daily work is to be the CEO of the Women's Foundation of the Genesee Valley, a very important organization that helps young women and women to come about in the world, and that's a whole other lecture, right? I was actually fortunate enough to be in the gala, your annual gala, which was spectacular. You should see the fashion display and the other thing, and the shiny crystals and everything. That is the leadership that you do in your daily work, which is phenomenal. And I encourage people to know more about the Women's Foundation of the Genesee Valley. You have a website, correct?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
and if you want to explore that, you should, because they do phenomenal work. But you're here today representing your church, the Church of the Encounter, which is, which neighborhood of Rochester is it in?
Chilai.
It's in Chilai. Krystle Ellis is not official clergy there, but you're one of the elders of the
Yeah.
congregation, and you're probably going to talk to us more about that. And in light of MLK weekend, and in light of just us, you know, Temple Sinai is very interested in forming relations with many different churches and other faith communities. And just because you're a phenomenal human being, we invited you to be part of our whole of Bagel series. And I would like to hand the microphone to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. So it is just such an honor to be here. And I just want to say hello to the people in the other room. I love you very much. Come on in, because I want to give you a hug too. So I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you so much, Rabbi Zohar, and everyone here for welcoming me into this sacred space. It is truly an honor to be here with you. As one who also believes deeply in the holiness of community, the power of storytelling, and the responsibility we carry towards one another, I would rather be in any other place. This is the place for me today. And before I share about love and unity, there is a very special reason why being here in this moment means so much to me. I have been overwhelmed in the past 24 hours with tearing up. Even now, so
It's right there.
so my grandmother came to the United States in the 1970s from Jamaica. As an immigrant, as many immigrant families, you know that one person often comes first, then they work tirelessly, and then they send for their other family members. And in our situation, it was my grandfather, my teenage mother, and my uncle, who was younger. So my grandmother, she worked as a nurse And when she arrived to Brooklyn, where most Jamaicans go, you either go to like England, Brooklyn, Toronto, or Miami, like that's your choices, okay? That's where you go as a Jamaican. And so when she arrived to Brooklyn alone, she knew absolutely no one, not a soul. So she didn't have a safety net, she didn't have any family nearby, she had no one to lean on. All she had was grit, hope, and the Most High God. But there was one person who she met. It was a Jewish woman who became the only family my grandmother had for years. My grandmother was her nurse and treated her with much dignity. And that woman cared deeply for my grandmother as well. What she gave my grandmother was not just kindness, but she gave her this open welcome in a time of uncertainty. She supplied her with something much deeper. She supplied her with hope for a future. She connected the dots between her story and the story of my grandmother. She understood my grandmother's dreams and the pain of being separated from her family. She also knew what it meant to be othered. She knew what it meant to be displaced and to feel alone in a new country. My grandmother cared for her deeply, and she cared for my grandmother in a way that even now today, I am still reaping the benefits of their relationship. You all know this well better than I would. Many of you are there, because I'm a youngin'. In the 1970s, of course, was a time of deep upheaval in the country. Trust in leadership was eroding under the weight of the Vietnam War, public protests, Kent State shootings, Watergate scandal, all of the things were happening. In economic instability was strained, there was racial tension still, folks were fighting for women's rights, and they were still pressing against the resistance. It was a decade marked by shock and awe. A time that seemed unreal. And there was my grandmother in a new country, trying to build a new life. Before passing, this wonderful woman taught my grandmother everything she knew about real estate. And my grandmother ended up purchasing an apartment building in Flatbush. Wow. Over time, my family owned multiple homes and built a life rich of stability and opportunity. This is a story of two women from different parts of the world, both bonded by their shared knowledge of suffering and the goodness of God. Two women, both unified, receiving and giving to each other what they needed most in that season, which is an exchange of love. Because of this, and this is why, over the past 24 hours, I've been so teary-eyed. It's because of this story I will forever honor the Jewish people. You are woven into my family's tapestry. I sit here well. I got the best education. I lived in the most beautiful homes. Because one woman opened up her heart. And this doesn't just stop at my grandmother. When I look at even all everyone who has been successful in my bloodline, they became successful because someone of the Jewish faith mentored them. Every single one. So, we can never do anything alone. But because of this story, I will never forget who shaped my grandmother's life. When I reflect on my grandmother's journey and the era which she arrived, I was struck by how familiar that moment feels like today. Once again, trust feels fragile, our communities are fractured, and the question before us is not whether things are broken. The question is, what will we do when what once protected us has fallen and it is time to rebuild? There is a story that you know very well, and spending time in the text gave me all the answers I needed for such a time as this. And this is the story of Nehemiah. When Nehemiah hears about the state of Jerusalem, he does not rush into action. He did what was stated in the text. He says, when I heard these things, I sat down and wept. For some days I mourned and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. This verse reflects Nehemiah's deep emotional response to the dire situation in Jerusalem, highlighting his commitment to prayer and fasting in time of distress. And so before he even thinks to rebuild walls, he allows his heart to break instead of heart. This true story is still very much alive and relevant today. Nehemiah shows us that love begins with allowing ourselves to be moved by brokenness and to be yielded to the will of God when taking the next steps. When Nehemiah arrives in Jerusalem, he does not immediately call a meeting. He does not announce a plan. He walks the walls at night. He studies the damage. He learns before he leads. Because you cannot rebuild what you refuse to see. Then comes one of the most powerful moments in the story. Nehemiah does not do the work himself. He doesn't go it alone. Nehemiah's leadership and organization of the rebuilding work was a testament of his leadership. He assigned different sections of the wall to various groups, including families, neighborhoods, and professional guilds. His approach assured that rebuilding work was not only efficient, but also inclusive, allowing everyone to contribute to the restoration of Jerusalem. This is again where Nehemiah becomes relevant for today. He understood that unity was needed to rebuild, and that unity didn't require sameness. Unity to Nehemiah meant alignment. We may disagree on many things. Families disagree, communities disagree, humanity as a whole disagree. But there must be one thing we agree on, and that is the preservation of life and the dignity of people. All right, so how do we do this thing, this so-called preservation? The answer is simple yet demanding. We stand closer together. We live. We love. We power each other forward. We open our doors in times of uncertainty. The true meaning of love, unity, and compassion is not found in words alone. It begins with the internal work we do in our hearts. The work that always allows us to see the value and the potential in every human being. It also must be followed by external action as well. Action doesn't merely assign a role on a wall, say you over there, but also teaches why it is important to protect what is sacred and holy. Again, action that does not merely assign a role on a wall, but also teaches why it is important to protect what is sacred and holy. We may never know the names of the lives of the people we will touch. For the woman who mentored my grandmother, she never knew my name. I was inexistent. But know this, the love she gave outlived her. And the love you give will outlive you. The woman who my grandmother took care of saw a hole in the wall, and she chose to repair and rebuild. When times get hard, and boy, times are hard right now, remember the mission of Nehemiah. The mission that says we must restore. Again, as I'm here today, I'm deeply aware that I am a product of grace and mercy, love and hope, joy and laughter. So as I close out, I now have a story like my grandmother's, a story about the God we serve and call Most High. Last year, this has been a process for about 2 years, but last year, I felt called to study about and observe the Holy High Days, as I too, again, serve the Most High God. So I signed up for services, and I went to be amongst the people I would be safe with, just like my grandmother was made to feel safe. For this is what I know. So I sat there at JCC, and can I tell you, I was like, okay, what side of the book do I start? I started at the front, I was like, okay, I'm lost. So I looked around, I was like, okay, I think I got this. It was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. I drove home, because I just lived down the street from the JCC. If you want to visit me, come to PJ or anytime you want. And I just cried because what I read resonated so deeply with my soul. I was just undone. Days later, quietly in my home, on Yom Kippur, I fasted and spent time with the Lord. I fasted before in my life, but this time it felt different. I felt aligned. I felt that because I was that feeling of safety and alignment and restoration and understanding, I felt that because I was among a people that from the beginning of time have always been rooted in kindness and always living in the pursuit of fairness for all people. So I asked you gently, now, when things again seem uncertain, will you step up to your section of the wall, even when the threat seems greater than you? Because you never know whose life you may impact. May we be a people to rebuild with intention. May our doors be open to those who seek hope and direction. May we honor another's assignments and lineage. May we fight for life with courage, and may love be the force that holds us together. Let it be said by future generations that those who gathered in this room today chose unity and action over apathy. Let us be known as a people who shifted systems once thought to be immovable. You are the people who taught me in my life how to be immovable. As I read the text, I understand the importance of walking around the wall multiple times in unity, releasing a sound into the atmosphere that one cannot deny. You, your people, have taught me this. Let the world say change started here. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. And thank you for listening. Shalom.
Thank you so much, our dear friend. And I noticed that also when I was at Bagel, you have this tendency to be emotional and enlightening at the same time. And to touch not only the mind, but also the heart and the spirit at the same time. And I think a lot of us felt this in this room as you were speaking. And I'm grateful for you being here. As is our tradition in all of the Bagel, it's good to open up the space for more of a conversation, if that's okay with you. And I'd love to be able to have the people here either ask or reflect, so we can be in conversation with Krystle Ellis. So we'd like to take the mic for that.
Well, I'll say something.
Wait, I want
Because
to. Can I nominate someone to do this holy work of the? Of this? Yeah. Okay, Heather. Thank you, Heather. That'll be yours.
Okay. Thank you, Heather. I have to say up front, I know Krystle. I didn't know your story, and I did hear for the first time a little Jamaican sound coming from you. I don't know, I don't remember when I usually talk, but I heard it. You were definitely, you were right there, and all the generations coming right through to us. I want you to know. Your grandmother's Jamaican accent came through you. It was very touching. But I also know some other Jamaican families that have Jewish backgrounds. They found out a lot of the Sephardic Jews from Spain during the Inquisition and Portuguese, they went to the islands. I know there's a synagogue there. I know there's a Chabad, and it's active, and there's kosher food you can get there. Yeah. So I would be interested to see your 23andMe.
I probably should bring it. I would be so stoked.
You're already there.
Oh my gosh, I would be so excited. I would. Any questions, Mom? Oh, sorry.
I have a question about the Women's Foundation.
Yes.
Oh, it's great.
I have a question about the Women's Foundation.
Yeah, hold it.
All right. I have a question about the Women's Foundation.
Yes.
And what I can do to support what it does.
Absolutely, yes. So the Women's Foundation of Genesee Valley has been around for 32 years, and we serve women and girls in the greater Rochester area. And our mission is to help them achieve economic self-sufficiency. And we do that by way of, we are a very interesting foundation. There's two sides of us, where we manage an endowment, but the endowment is strictly to give grants to other nonprofits in the community. Then we have our programming side, where we have to do fundraising for, okay? And so on the fundraising side, we have two programs where we have the grant writing program for underrepresented women, so that they can fund their organizations. We also do a ton of professional development for women who need it, and also because many organizations, I think it's always been a struggle, but now more than ever, organizations cannot afford professional development for women, so we provide those opportunities at no cost. Our girls initiative, we have the largest girls conference in the state of New York, attracting up to 500 girls each year. And so these girls come from all schools, from, even if they're homeschooled, they're welcome to come to this one-day conference. And it's like a real conference. There's breakout sessions, a keynote speaker, a lunch, and at the end, there's a DJ, parties, and we have all types of people coming out from the community to do tables, so they can learn either about housing, they can learn about any kind of extracurricular activities, health and wellness, all different ways to support their journey. I was on the board of the Women's Foundation before I became the executive director. Our ED at the time had to step away, and because I am a business owner, I own a strategic planning and coaching firm, I had the time to say, all right, I'll be executive director for a little bit until we find our person. I caught the bug, here I am, still today, right? And so before we were more about housing, which that is still important, but there's other organizations that do way better than we do. And so I implemented and moved the organization into a direction as to where this wonderful woman who taught my grandmother, I took that on because it worked. There was power in it, there's legacy, and I'm still reaping the benefits. So we now do a professional, in addition to the large conference, we have multiple programs. One, our professional development day, where we have partnered with the Golisano Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship. We take 30 girls there for a full day where they learn how to navigate AI, how to understand the power of content creation, how to negotiate their salaries, business etiquette, and how to work on their executive presence. They all get their first official headshots, and these are 11th and 12th graders. Any girl who participates in our leadership program, who meets at the foundation twice a month, they get volunteer hours and letters of recommendation for jobs, or if they would like to go off to college. We have also brokered a relationship with the New York State Police, where they go to the barracks and they learn what it means to be a New York State police person. And it's not just sitting on the side of the road waiting for someone to speed by. There are roles such as forensics, they need nurses, they need someone to operate helicopters, mechanics, and these are roles that women can do. I just recently graduated from the Citizens FBI Academy. And what that is, it's been going on, the Citizens FBI Academy has been going on for 33 years. And what they do is they recruit members of the community to educate on what the FBI does, but also work in perfect communication with them. If there is any threats in the community, we are trained to assess those threats, recognize those threats, and return the information that we know back to the FBI. And so because I went through that program, it was a couple of months, very strenuous, lots of hours, lots of training, kind of borderline military in some spaces. We now have a relationship with them where if girls were interested in becoming an agent or working within the FBI, because not everyone is an agent, they have 30,000 plus employees, 11,000 of those are agents that we can account for. They learn about that as well. So they learn about accounting. We moved out of just, how are you feeling today? Is being a woman so rough? We're like, okay, we get it. But how do we talk about financial literacy? Do you know about stocks? Do you know about investments? Do you know why you shouldn't get the credit card with the $10,000 limit and spend it at Ulta and Sephora? Do you know that you can not just buy a house, but you can buy an apartment complex? This was the legacy that was passed down to me by your people. And it works. And so I must carry that forward so that we are not still talking poverty and it will be around. But if we have anything to do with it, we can provide them with the tools to be successful. So we need help in volunteers. We definitely need help in donors, because the Women's Foundation of Genesee Valley, when we apply for grants, we can no longer use the word woman. Our funding has literally been slashed in half. So we are working around the clock, goodness, where our endowment is still healthy, where we still get to give money to the community. But in addition to working my business, I work 7 days a week. We are a strong staff of 2 and 2 interns that start next week. But we will not give up and we will not relent.
And tell them where you're located.
We're located on East Ave in the Perkins Mansion.
Oh,
So-
beautiful, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
So that's where we are located. So if you want to give of your time and your treasure, please come on down, because I really need your help, seriously. I need it badly.
Question.
Which has got the mic. Oh.
Do it. You lead it.
Okay, go ahead.
I am in awe, and I am so grateful to you. I've been an activist in this community since the 1960s, and I'm thrilled to hear you, meet you, know you, and wondering why I didn't before. It's almost hard to say how moved I am by all what you had to say. You really are, in our tradition, a prophet. And it's incredibly moving and inspiring in these times. And, you know, I think I said to someone here, we're holding so many contradictions in our hearts and in our heads that I'm actually writing something, because we can be with one another and say, how are you? I'm fine. How's everything? Everything's good. And many things are. And under that, things are horrendous.
Yes.
And it's hard to acknowledge that. So it's crazy making it feel like you can't acknowledge it, that everything's okay. So your reference to Nehemiah and those kinds of steps, recognizing that we have to acknowledge, we have to see, and then grieve, and then come together and act. And it's just, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, you had a question?
Here's a question.
It's coming.
Hi, obviously, this is a very impressive person. I mean, you held everybody's attention, and it was very meaningful. I'm so glad you came here, thank you. How do the girls,
Yes.
I'm more interested, the girls that you have, this sort of about 500 girls a year, are they self-selected, or do you go out to the community and round them up? How do they get you?
Yep, so we just put out announcements on the website, and we have a lot of great relationships with schools. So we go into the schools, we talk to counselors, and we also say we want all girls. So not the ones who are the highest achieving, but the ones where you never said their name because you forgot that they were there. Those are the ones, because what did I learn? When you line the most most strongest up. And when the prophet shows up, you don't look for the one in the line, you look for the one in the field. You look for the Davids. And so we're after the Davids. And so they sign up online, and whoever can make it, make it. So we open our arms like this and we're like, come on down. That's how we recruit.
Oh, we got another question, I'm sorry, quick question. If you say you're not allowed to use women's, I mean, what do we come to, but if you can't use the word women's, did you change the foundation of Genesee Valley instead of women's? Huh?
Never, we fight. We do not relent, we do not stand down, and that is what it is.
There's a question in the back.
Hi, I'm Carly. I'm a personal assistant to a lady who's a quad. So I do kind of like what your grandma does. I do overnights with her. And she's actually, an advocate to a lot of, basically to all disabled people. And what's been happening, is the whole, well, I don't wanna get into it, but like, a lot of the home care, has been going downhill. And I wanted to know if your advocacy helps those, disabled too.
Absolutely. So we always make our programs accessible to those who are differently abled. The reason why this is also important to me, a part of my story, is my daughter Brooke was born with a condition called agenesis of the corpus callosum, which means that she was born with the middle section of her brain missing. We now have nurses in our home 16 hours a day to work with my daughter. She is a walking miracle. They said she would never walk, she would never talk. She walks and she talks a lot, talks back. And so she does have an intellectual disability and a physical disability as well. And so we are making sure that as we build the next generation of leaders, women, female leaders, we also incorporate the conversation of compassion for those who cannot care for themselves. Because it's our responsibility to leave the world better. And that is, again, a part of the legacy that I learned that was brought down to my family was the importance of inheritance. And so inheritance is not just dollars, inheritance is mindset. And so yes, we include those who are differently abled.
Can I say one other thing? I know you, I don't need the mic, thank you. I know that you have young.
Yeah, we do for the Zoom.
Oh, you want it for the Zoom?
Hi, Zoom
Okay.
people, I love you so much. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. If there's anything that you need, I will check the chat right now. Everyone on Zoom, hi.
I would like you to tell, who may not know about the young women in Rochester that come from different high schools that are on that board that makes some decisions.
Absolutely.
Where the grant money goes. So my little spiel, when someone says, well, what do they do? I think I know there was girls from Pittsburgh and from inner city schools, and they meet like once a month, and they decide what
Yes.
organization these grants will go. I don't know if any of you have been high school girls, like not everyone here, but we're not thinking about other people when you're 15 years old. You're thinking about where you're going on a date, or did someone wear the same skirt twice. You're not thinking out of yourself. And when it touches me and gives me chills right now to think that these young women are sitting around the table, and should they give money to the Boys and Girls Club, or should they give it to a halfway house with incarcerated women trying to get back into the work cycle? These are women that are becoming, having empathy, and at that age is such an inherited growth. If we can start them younger, thinking about other people, I think, what a gift.
It is truly a gift. So when we have our grant making cycle, we also have them review the grant applications as well. Because when you are lifting the next generation, you present them with real life issues. You don't hide what's going on in the community. So we have them read the grant application, and we have a scoring rubric, and they score, and then they come together to have deliberations. And then they also decide, we give them the amount of $10,000, and then we have an adult grant making committee that works on the rest. And they come together and they debate and talk and decide, and they must come together as one at the end and vote on who gets the money. So yes, they're making financial decisions at a very young age.
You mentioned earlier that you welcome volunteers.
Yes.
Can you explain what you need volunteers to do?
Oh my gosh, everyone. We need volunteers to help with administrative things around the office. So when we get donations in, we want to make sure that we are getting acknowledgement letters and thank you letters out as soon as possible. That becomes really difficult when you're planning a gala, professional development day, all of those things. We also need help with planning the gala and also volunteering on the day of the gala. We also need tons of volunteers for the girls' conference, because there's a lot of girls, and we need wisdom in the room, and we need, don't you dare go out that door. Okay, and you were not wearing that when your parents dropped you off. You know, so we need that. This year, the conference will be held at the Golisano Institute of Business and Entrepreneurship, where I'm associate faculty and I'm also a professor at RIT this year as well. Yes.
She even got a parking spot.
I got a parking spot. So we need all the help. Yes, time, treasure, please help.
When is it?
The gala.
Okay, so the conference is May 11th, and can I communicate with you the details to share, is that okay? And then the gala is September 26th, it's that weekend. So I will share all the details, and I would love to have you all there.
So yes, I was fortunate enough to be at the gala this year, or not, I don't even know if it's this year, last year, whatever it was, but the previous one. And my thought was that maybe just like we did with Rural Migrant Ministry, where Temple Sinai people purchased a few seats or whatever it was, I think we could try to do the same. And you know, so what we'll do the next year is that we'll advertise in advance, and you can communicate with us, with our office. And those of us who will be interested to participate, to just register, then, you know, maybe we'll have a table, maybe more. So that could be a good idea. If I may segue for a moment, could I ask you to also share a little bit about the Encounter Church that you're part of? Because I think that's also interesting for us. It's another piece of who you are and what you do with the people that you're, I don't know, if you're presenting or a part of or whatever. So if we could learn about that a little bit.
Yeah, so the church that I attend is called Encounter New York. It's in North Chili. We are a non-denominational church, and we have been around for 40 years. It was called New Hope before, but our pastors, we have new pastors from Las Vegas, and they moved here, so they have a Encounter Las Vegas. And now they're here, we have an Encounter New York. We have, we're about to move to 2 services because we just built out, we had a section of the church that wasn't built, and so we built it out. It has 800 seats, and now services are packed. We have to pull chairs from the back. So now we're moving to 2 services. I serve as an elder there. And so, of course, elders in our church are lay pastors. And we are assigned to a group of people to disciple and to hold them accountable, to love on them, to pray with them and be with them and build community with them. And it is, gosh, I have been in the faith my entire life. That's all I know. I was born and raised, I was told that my first time in church after, because I don't know in any other culture, but in our culture, when a baby is born, you keep them in the house for like a really long time.
Yeah.
And you don't let them out until they've gotten all the shots or they're strong enough and all the things, and then you bring them out. So my first time outside of the home, except for going to the doctors, was going to church. And that's all I know. And so it is the greatest honor of my life to now be a lay pastor and lead people in the ways to understand the ways of God and to walk in love and unity. That is my first mandate above all things. God first, everything else second.
Get my steps.
I love it.
Actually, two questions. One, I can't help thinking, having been through the cycles of the relationships between Black people and Jews.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you have any thoughts about where that might be or where it might go now. And the second is, how do you do it? And self-care.
Yeah, I think how do we do it? And this is something that we all know well, is one, continue to tell the stories that keep us together. Because they cannot die. You cannot kill Will and you cannot kill a story. There's no way. The relationship between Black people and Jewish people have always been strong. I think in recent years, depending on who it is, it has become complicated, very complicated, because there are these narratives that are not, and this is my personal belief, don't hold me accountable to it, but there are these narratives that are trying to tell us that we are different from each other, and it's not true. And so when you try to erase history, the goal is to divide us. So we must remind ourselves, always put ourselves in remembrance, this is in the word, that we always put ourselves into remembrance of where we were and where we are going. To say we have always been a people that fought and been together. And here are the facts, here is history, and read it. Please do not depend on ChatGPT to tell you all of these things. We have our struggles are very similar, but there is a break. And so we have to come and we have to commune with each other, have more opportunities like this to sit and talk at the table. We must break bread together. There's a woman, when I used to live on French Road, I used to live in this townhouse apartment complex place, and there's a woman, her name is Sue Corbeck. And Sue Corbeck would invite our family over anytime she had a celebration. And she's our family. And that is where it starts. We have to open our doors, not read what we see on Facebook, and not even believe the lie that we are different. But we are now we have the responsibility to hold the torch and bring people together. But it is true, there is a gap. And if we don't fight for our community and come together, the gap will widen, because there are just such weird narratives, especially online, and that's where people are now consuming their content. They're doom scrolling for hours, and then they believe it. So what your eyes behold then becomes a seed in your heart, and what comes out of your heart then comes out of your mouth, and what comes out of your mouth must manifest into a thing. Please hold.
I think it's a wonderful practice and meditation, awareness to just, while the microphone is moving, we just breathe. Oh, it's actually okay to be in silence for 5 seconds between each question, so I love that. But I know the anticipation is, oh, we have to keep at it. So thank you for this comment. I do believe that there are forces that be that try to divide people. And our responsibility is, and actually our religious imperative in teaching. I came from Israel, back from Israel yesterday, and one of the things that I did there is that I went swimming in a hot spring that is located on the border between Jordan and Israel, to the point that this is immense border fence, and there's your hot spring. And it's what's 45 degrees Celsius, it's like 90 Fahrenheit, it's really, what's that? More, very hot water. There's actually an official site, like you go and you pay on the other side, and but the water there isn't as warm. And I was swimming in that really hot pool, and there was all sorts of hippies and Orthodox Jews talking spirituality about God, and like one yeshiva or yeshiva guy is asking the secular hippie about his tattoos, and it's like conversations about crazy stuff, and it was covered with graffiti, and the graffiti that I was swimming about was ve'ahavta, which means you shall love. Which was, it's the most important, and in fact, only commandment in Judaism, because everything else is commentary on that, to echo what you're saying. And, some of you know this, some of you don't, I started going once a week to the Monroe County Jail to serve as the rabbi for the Jewish incarcerated individuals that are there. And I've been there for about a month and a half now, just about a couple of hours each week. It's like my Tikkun Olam project for the year, for that sake, okay? But then I was wondering, who are those people, right? Like I didn't know who I'd meet. And lo and behold, and then when you go, apparently when you're arrested or in your whatever jail or prison, you don't have to, but you can mark, who am I, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, whatever. And I was like, I wonder who those guys are, or women, there's two groups. And lo and behold, the majority of them appear to be Black in their appearance. Right? So just to say, when we say that there's two communities, like who are the people that you assume are, let's say, Jewish? Or who are the people that you assume, like you look in this room, you probably assume that they look a certain way, they dress a certain way. Right, but I'm learning, as you know, I've been here for a year and a half, right? I'm still new in town, but as I'm, setting roots here now, through this experience, I'm learning that you'd be surprised who thinks that they're Jewish, right? Because they could go to the imam comes there as well, the same imam, by the way, who was here and spoke, and they have like 7 different churches coming in, and they could choose. And as far as they're concerned, they're Jewish. They come to the rabbi. Right, and so I don't ask exactly. I actually don't care. Whoever comes to me is okay. You're here, be part of our circle. I don't ask them about to do their DNA test or whatever. I just want to say that identity that we say Black, whatever that means, or white, or whatever, brown, whatever, or that identity that is Jewish. Don't assume that it's just 2 different separate communities. Because what I'm learning is that there's actually more than meets the eye.
Yeah, there's definitely a oneness in humankind, and we are just celebrated, that we are just, the concept of race and separation it's like this social concept, but when we break it down, we believe the same. We are one people, separated by how much melanin we just got, when you just think about it. And that's how I think about life and people. It's just like, we just got different levels of melanin. It's skin. It's literally skin. And when you break it down to that, you just see the world a little bit differently. Just the skin you're in. Hello.
I think what I like about this is that we're talking about, I went to Roberts Wesleyan University. Well, actually, I was in the Bell program, which is kind of like half school and half college. It's a
Okay.
2-year program. So it stands for Bridges to Earning, Learning, and Living. My favorite Roberts class I took was American History. And when I studied all the histories of what was going on in the past, like the most terrible tragedy of what really happened in this country is the way not only Black people, but other people who are different from white people were being treated harshly from the white people. And I really didn't like seeing that in this dark of history. And I was writing a quote and a speech to explain to everybody to understand who we really are in the inside. And I'm trying to remember what it is, but well, my quote wasn't finished yet. It still needs more work. So it goes like, nothing matters that we're all different on the outside, but the most important thing what matters is we're all the same in the inside. And the inside of us is human beings. We are made the same materials as we are on the inside. We are made out of, we have feelings. We are made out of flesh and blood. We are run and powered by brain, heart, and soul. There's nothing different about us in the inside of us. We're all the same, and that's what we need to understand. No matter what different skin color you are, no matter what different heritage you are, no matter what different religious you are, we need to make people understand that we're all human inside. Everybody who are these good people in our country, Susan B. Anthony, Martin Luther King Jr., all these people I really like. And also another one of my favorite people, my favorite president, Franklin D. Roosevelt, he explained the same detail that Susan B. Anthony, Martin Luther King, and also John F. Kennedy, trying to explain to people of who we really are, and we need to understand each other who we are. We are all human beings.
For sure. I give this funny example, it's so good. I give this funny example. I said, if there was a zombie apocalypse outside right now, and you're in your house, and you haven't seen another human in a really, really long time, and you see a nice person, you don't know if it's a zombie apocalypse, if they're nice or not, but you're just so happy for company. You're not gonna be like, okay, white person, close the door. You're like another human that is not another person who's not trying to bite me. You're not gonna think about it. What you're gonna think is, there is a human coming and there's a possibility for a connection. So I just say, hey, does this all matter to you? Because let me tell you something, we could have a zombie apocalypse, and what are you gonna be really alone and hungry if you're concerned about the casing of skin that someone comes in?
The next thing we're gonna become friends with the zombies.
Yeah, they don't talk much. They run kind of fast, so I don't know, depending on the kind. Yeah. For sure. Can you, I would love to be taught more about, because I started to look into it last night. You said to come along. And so I would love to learn more. I was fascinated last night when I started to study, and so I'd love for you to teach me more.
Right, so well, that is a whole other lecture, but in short, tikkun olam literally means to repair the world. So being committed to make this world a better place, which I think we don't have to teach you that, you can teach it to us, right? But you know, that kind of like, especially in the reform movement in you know, which we're a part of, so that commitment, which is, I said, we see it as a spiritual, religious, moral imperative to prepare the world. Each one of us can translate that into a specific cause or a specific passion that they have. You know, if you're passionate about women's, you know, rights, if you're passionate about whatever, you know, immigrants, whatever social cause, if it's the environment, whatever it is that we feel moved and called to do, from a religious perspective. And in fact, historically, since Orthodox Jews, they're committed to a certain set of mitzvot, commandments that you do this, 613 of them allegedly, although that can be argued as well. And for many Reform Jews, we're still deeply spiritual and religious, but don't see ourselves as committed to these particular set of rules. Tikkun Olam has kind of replaced that in a more flexible but not less committed way. That we see it as part of our service to God, and, to be committed, and you will find many of us who are committed to a number of goals, including the ones across the room who are, for the 11 a.m., but many other examples. So that is Tikkun Olam, to repair the world. There's also Kabbalistic and mystical aspects to that, but I won't get into that now. But basically that's what it is. I hope that I represented it well, folks. You're welcome to add your comments.
Hello, Joyce and Bob. Yes, I can send the talk to you. Absolutely, I sure can. Just going through the chat.
Joyce is here, Bob is there.
Wait, where's?
No.
Okay, I was like, okay, so I was like, hey, Bob, your wife says hi. All right, yeah, so I think I've answered most things. All right, yes.
And this will also be online, as you know.
Yeah, right.
All right,
Any concluding comments or questions? Heather, yourself?
okay.
Hi, thank you for coming today. I am Black and Jewish. There are dozens of us. I'm Black and Jewish. So they do exist. I didn't want to throw that out there. So thank you again for coming today and speaking to us.
Thank you.
And speaking about Israel, here, so historically, mostly, it's also worth mentioning, historically, many of the Jews, not all, but many of the Jews who immigrated to the Americas, were from Europe. The greatest numbers Eastern Europe, but Germany and France and other places as well. But actually in the world, especially when you go to Israel, half the people in Israel who are Jewish are what we would call here in this country people of color. They came from the Middle East, they came from Africa, Ethiopia, but not only. So this understanding that we have that the Jews is like a white phenomena is actually not true. Judaism is a religion, it's a spiritual path, and there's people who look very differently than I do. Like you said, it's just skin color, who share that faith. So it actually has nothing to do with race. Because of historical reasons, there's people who immigrate from here and there, so you look at the room and you might see more people of a certain kind of lack of melatonin, right? But it's not representative of the Jewish world at all, in fact. So we have to bear that in mind when we think about Judaism.
Yeah, I think the concept of race and that social construct is very important here in America, but in other places that it doesn't really hold. And I was really impacted because I went to Egypt in 2021, and I went to their first church, and the photos were, everyone had different colors. I was shocked. I was like, well, this is not what I see when I'm at home. So I'm obsessed with it. I do want to go to Ethiopia.
Yes.
And there's just so if you guys are going on trips, I want to come with you all because I am obsessed with history, because there's just a story that we need to tell to ground people, for them to see the world, I think we are so like, this is America and this is all that exists, when there is such a richness across the entire globe that informs us and informs how we should live our lives.
Okay, so on this happy note, unless you have any concluding remarks for me?
I love you. Thank you for having me.
I really was looking forward to this, and I'm really happy that you came. Hopefully this is the first, not the last time that we have a collaboration.
Yes.
And thank you all for coming for Hold the Bagel once again next week. Oh, important message, for some reason it also did not go through our publicity. So you did see that Reverend J.E. from the Pittsburgh Church from the Baptist Church of United, the Pittsburgh Church from Pittsburgh, it's so confusing. I thought it was a Pittsburgh. The United Church of Christ, thank you, is coming to speak here on Friday. What was not mentioned, so he will be our guest of honor this Shabbat, MLK Shabbat. What was not mentioned, that I was also invited to speak at their church the following Sunday morning on the 18th. So hopefully there'll be an advertisement about that, and you can also, all these communications and all these collaborations, we're building them. Please stay for the 11 a.m. after the Bagel program, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
So happy to see you. I was talking to him this morning and he said he didn't know who you were, but that's JD Jackson.
Oh, you know each other by face, not by name.
Right,
I love you.
I love you too. Say hello to all the other people. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad to see you again. I'm bored.
Yeah.